Fragadelphia 15 for real this time. It's the A stream and it's the main stage finally heating up because we are getting deeper and deeper into our bracket already here in day number 1. My name is Upmind, joined here by Exner, and we actually have quite the game ahead of us, even though one of the teams is a pug mix.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, we've already seen that this team is a pug mix, and the one thing that we know about them is they're a pug mix that can win games, they can win whole entire events, judging from what we saw from the East Falls side of things. I'm really excited to see what they can bring up against a team like RBG. I think that'll be the most toughest of tests here, and they went up against Third Impact in Denver, and it was interesting. They took a map off, but then they weren't able to close that one out. So there's a couple of different results that you have to look to, and RBG as a whole, I think, are going to be the heavy favorites in this matchup.
And RBG has been a long-standing name in the community, of course, but what about the other players on the server? Yes, their names are well-known, but not exactly the team.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, we know all of the names. Infinity Gauntlet, we still have to look forward to a couple of different mixed teams for finding their whole entire roster. You've got Slight and Saturn, the duo over on Strife and Premier, and then I believe you have Ellison and Wilkie playing on Northern Forces in Advanced at the moment. So
yeah,
a couple of different things to look forward to on this roster. They know each other, they know how each other play, but we do have vetoes up already. We got the first map pick of Mirage. Second is going to be on Vertigo. I imagine that's picked by RBG. That's one of their strong suits, and then we're going to finish things off on a decider of Inferno. So interesting map pool. I think this one, letting Vertigo slip through RBG at any point in time, it's always going to be a scary factor, no question.
A little bit, right? We are looking at still Vertigo for RBG, which should, in theory, be that guarantee. But I think I still want to point over towards what has been at least the bans a little bit earlier, because is it really a surprise that we end up getting that nuke ban?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's important to ban that. I believe that would be from Infinity Gauntlets, I'd imagine. Dust 2 is one of RBG's permabans as well, alongside Ancient, as that one got into the map pool. So, the first map pick of Infinity Gauntlet being over on Mirage, it's actually one of Classia's specialties. He can really work that map to perfection, so you can look forward to Classia on that. Yeah. Actually not a part of the roster any longer, but they're rocking with Jitter now, but Classia's still stepping in like an absolute trooper for the rest of this event. So you have that to look forward to for Mirage for RBG, but I don't know. If Infinity Gauntlet do not take Mirage, then I don't think they stand much of a chance in taking a map off RBG.
Yeah, it is realistically the map that they've had the absolute most time on as a group, which is a lot to say for at least an organization that doesn't exactly have, or an organization, what am I saying, a team that doesn't exactly have too much experience with each other professional-wise. But I still think, going back, by the way, to the nuke pick, it's more interesting to me that it ends up being left over all the way to the end, and even on top of Mirage, where Infinity Gauntlet, they had the opportunity to pick out on Nuke, and actually, surprisingly enough, recently, Nuke has been one of their main maps. Nuke has actually been one of their main picks, and not seeing it banned first and not seeing it picked after does kind of lean over to the side that Infinity Gauntlet is looking to either A, pug this out a little bit more, or B, they're just going to somewhere where all 5 players are most comfortable.
Yeah, judging by the Mirage pick, I think it's very clear. We're going to see some more buggy styles from them, as typical for a team that's kind of mixing things up and just utilizing different parts of each team there. As for the banning Dust 2, I'm interested to see that. That could have been a great punish pick for Infinity Gauntlet, and it's one of those maps that everyone knows how to play, so it might be a little discomfort on that map, also not wanting to face Wiz on a map like that, but, Slight. We all remember that Premier game. That was terrifying.
Dude, all I got to tell you is that at least with the oppers on this server, I don't think we really have to worry about any give or take, but Wiz could be that X factor for sure. But at least going back, by the way, I do like the fact that you mentioned counter picks and really just punishments for what was the early bans, because we had Overpass ended up getting banned out by Infinity Gauntlet. We haven't really touched on that. The reason why, of course, Infinity Gauntlet not too comfortable on Overpass, I would like to assume, but it's mainly just a counter pick against RBG, but you see the answer already. Vertigo is not a map that we ended up seeing Infinity Gauntlet on too much, and not only that, but not all too successful. Currently only 2 and 4 on the map, and still, other than that, our vetoes is I would like to think, still comfortable for all three of these teams. So we can start to talk about the actual teams a little bit. Infinity Gauntlet, can you give me a little bit of a taster on what this team is all about?
Yeah, so I think one of the key players you're going to look out for here is Slight on this roster, rocking on the AWP. On land, this guy is an absolute machine with the op. He's been single-handedly winning event after event. He won both East Falls and Philly, that first qualifier with Cold Ass Riders, and then he won the second map in St. Louis, or second event, after a totally different team in Infinity Gauntlet here that we're seeing today. So he's not only won one of the qualifiers, he's qualified 2 times with 2 separate teams, and honestly has had MVP performances in both of those tournaments as well. So he's going to be most exciting to watch on land. I think you're going to want to keep an eye out for him for sure. And as like a firepower point for RBG, I think Calasia is an obvious answer. He's kind of stepping in again. Like I mentioned, they're currently playing with Jitter after that last season of Premier. They slotted him in. They added Axt as a coach as well. But you can look to Calasia to still step up to the plate, man. This guy is had some crazy mechanics that you can really rely on. And with not a care in the world, maybe you can see him really step up to the plate here and have some fun.
I mean, I think it's mostly this team already has that sort of experience with one another. So honestly, I mean, although they had their issues before, it's not hard whatsoever actually to just insert Glacier right back into the roster, which also just adds on to the fact that we're looking at a best of 3 formatted event. It's a very long event with only really I just want to say a low amount of full teams that all play online and have come over towards LAN. So just by that logic alone, I'm already, giving RBG a little bit more hope just going into this whole LAN alone. Because back before quarantine, back at Fragadelphia 14, we ended up seeing RBG when they were, I think barely in advanced. I think they just came out of main. These guys, they had pretty much, I don't want to say pretty much the same roster, but still same core of the roster. They've been together for a minute.
Walco and Hex as that core. I think G-Manchu and Pony actually left.
Very true. Kind of unfortunate, actually. I missed that whole 5.
Me too.
But, yeah, I mean, they've been the same core for a minute. They've landed together. They've practiced together. And I don't know what else to really say. They are the team with what is probably the most team experience with each other coming into this LAN. But what I mean by that, current team, current experience. But I still anticipate a bit. Did you watch the game earlier from Infinity Gauntlet? Because it's not every day that you get an upset from a Pug Mix team against a team like Levitate.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think that the one key difference here is that it's nice for Infinity Gauntlet to have all of their players have Premier experience, whereas Levitate, I believe Atomic has Premier experience. I'm not sure about the rest of that roster.
Right.
But obviously they've made it very far, a lot of these players in advanced playoffs. So they all have experience. And, against a Pug team, you can really utilize your core as a full 5 like Levitate had to try and topple a Pug team. But again, it comes down to the firepower issues, and Infinity Gauntlet have a whole lot of that to worry about if you're playing up against them. And again, I kind of call them a Pug roster. They have that experience already on LAN together, and the St. Louis event that they were able to win, they played Denver together as well. So we got good news. We are heading into the matchup here. We're heading into Pistol Round. We'll start things off on Mirage. It's very exciting stuff here.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back. If you were tuning in for the first time, welcome to Fragadelphia 15. Welcome to yet another best of 3 on LAN. Yes, let me say that again. On LAN here in NA, here in Philadelphia. And folks, we're heading right into the first round. Already well into the take. RBG slowly making their way up apartments with 2 players in the middle of sight.
Yeah, here we are, jump spotting in from Chop, and he's going to get a lot of information here shortly. Flashbangs as well, blinding him up here. He's going to be spotted out, but he hasn't been taken down. No headshots have rained on in. Flashbang in return here from RBG, and somehow Chop is still alive. Finally to be flanked by Wilkie. Calasia, good for the first, but he has to load here, and he'll be taken down as well. He equalized into the 3v3, though.
And it is kind of funky here because you just have Slight and Saturn just trying to play it around the boxes. Finally, Ajax actually goes down. But that whole game of cat and mouse still ends up working out for the Crossfire and a couple of frags back. Now the CTs rely with only one player, Walco, trying to make his way in now for RBG. Goes down to the middle of the side, has that opportunity up close. Walco running out of bullets. And he's been empty out of bullets all the way since he was trying to make his way out of market. He was looking for just one quick headshot onto bench, but just like that, that's already going to be the first round back for Infinity Gauntlet, and sort of not in expected fashion, but in proficient fashion.
Yeah, I mean, and you got the duo already of Slight and Saturn stepping up to the plate. 2 kills from each player there, so the Strife duo from Premier is off to a hot start on that pistol round and really played that 2v1 to perfection as well, just grouping up. Saturn on low HP, that very easily could have gone south, but luckily enough for Infinity Gauntlet, they're going to take that round here, push towards the top of mid as well, and they're going straight back towards B. Don't fix what isn't broke is the logic here from Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, there's no actual util to be able to stop them either. No early smoke, no early molly, but they do have the crossfire, which is working out. Chop ends up getting a big kill. Saturn trying to go in. Slight on top of Van. And hello, Wolko. Coming up from behind over in apartments with a big kill onto Wilkie. Watch out for the 3v3. Watch out for the Deagles, because they're combining for a massive effort, and they get the last. Infinity Gauntlet getting ecoed out in only the second round of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you can expect. RBG just had some lightning fast rotations. Walco on that flank as well, finding himself 3 kills in that round, just causing complete chaos on that execute. Just no chance for any success to be made from Infinity Gauntlet. And I guess we do need some fixing on that B side execute, because they didn't have anyone watching that flank. They didn't have anyone covering that market rotation. It just gained way too much ground too early there. Now we're going to see an A side execute. And so I guess if B's not working, go back towards A.
Yeah. If it's broke, fix it. And going back to the other side, Hex has the angle. Yes. Farm up your cash. Hex rich and potentially with an ace out of the round. And there you go. Hex already with an ace.
Lovely right there. You love to see that. Eco ace. That's a lot of money in his pocket as well. MP9. And just stack it over some, not only confidence frags, you know, you get those stats up, but also that economic play as well. As we're able to see maybe a mid-side approach here for Infinity Gauntlet. If A doesn't work and B doesn't work, that's your only option left. That's what we're going to get here. Nice tag to start things off from Wiz. But all in all, things are slowing down just a little bit.
Hello, Wolko. Sitting up in the middle of connector with all 5 players for the T side over in mid. And Wolko only ends up finding one. It was Saturn going on a suicide mission, trying to look for a bit of information or potentially a cheeky frag. Wolko! He gets full flash, and Wilkie, there was a moment there where we could have seen Wolko actually clean things up, but instead, a massive pop flash actually ends up getting up 2 players. And now, it's a scattered 3v3. Look at how RPG is trying to play this.
Yeah, I mean, take a look right now as well as what Slight has an AK in his hand, not the most HP, but can cause some serious damage with this, at least keeping that economy honest. But no real commitment being made with a minute left onto the clock. Wilkie going to rotate in the underpass here, and they're going to be met with Chop on the aggression, just waiting for any sort of push. And if they don't have armor to work off of, they'll just melt to his Galil.
Oh, Chop getting tagged up, and that's it. That's the sight. A couple of pistol taps. Ajax with an easy one. And now we're going to see the rifles once again starting to falter against the pistols. And Slide around the corner has an easy one. Now Klasia stuck up against the corner over on the other side. Just watched his teammate go down. So what was actually a pretty sick flash. Nice little pop flash. But they're actually going to back out. Klasia has 5.4K in the bank. The rest of his team thriving too, but still going to be a save. And in the matter of 4 rounds, here, Mr. Axner, we have 2 ecos.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting stat there, because both teams are going to want to clean that up. That one was particularly egregious from RBG. I mean, they really weren't working with much. It was flashbangs, a little bit of armor, some P250s, and all of the entries, all of the mistakes that RBG know that they made. It might start to compound in the mental there, but it's still very, very early on, so it can try and recover from that. Even that saved rifle and the flawless round in the previous will leave them with a good standing in terms of getting another buy-in here. But well, what's going on there? We got a little face.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm interested.
What's good?
Is this a test?
It's who? It's my bad.
Blind?
Oh!
Hair.
Oh, he's trying to draw me! Oh! Well done. Well done.
Very
Whoever's
nice.
observing right. Oh, it's Ito. Oh, Ito! Oh my god, I love that guy. All right, here we go. Back. Big rifle round, actually. Double hop out. Slight already got an early big one, but Wiz still has that same angle, and Slight peeks away at the almost the perfect time for Wiz. Ellison, good response though, and a big pop flash coming out from Sight. Saturn with yet another good angle. He picks up his teammates. Fallen AWP, and he proceeds to frag out on his own. Slight goes down. I don't think that we really need him for opping at this point. Clasia, who just had a massive, massive save in the last round, trying to go away in a 1v3, has to do the exact same thing again, but this is just a wake-up call now for RBG. Infinity Gauntlet not only with a big eco, but has reset RBG.
Yeah, that's huge. Classy is wondering what happens to his teammates 2 rounds in a row, as it will be a third for Infinity Gauntlet in a good fashion as well. I really like that. Slight finding that opening frag with the op, just holding that passive angle, and then to lock that one down as well. Ooh, Ajax on gun removal. Oh, he doesn't have a good arm. Oh, he picks up his AK. Okay.
Nice.
See, that AK Asimov skin, it confuses me.
Oh!
Back into the olden days, there's only the op Asimov, and now they added an AK Asimov, and it's like, it's not the same anymore.
No,
but
they got like a P250 too, right?
do they? I think they do. I think you're right.
Yeah. No, I'm very much used to only having an AWP, an op Asimov. I'm used to all the old stuff at this point, bro.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a I haven't been here in a minute, right? Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, of course I would be only used to like that. Even though like the AK was actually released like what, like 2 years ago. We should be used to it by now. Folks, what we should be getting used to is most likely a W for Infinity Gauntlet in this round. They have all the util they could possibly need, guns across the board, but now positioning not too much. Look how RBG is trying to play this a bit. One person back over towards Cat, at least. One person was actually thinking about underpass, but he actually goes down. Walko down in a heap. Only 2 players back over towards B. 3, actually? Oh, they are actually going to commit the pistols back over towards Sight, and Infinity Gauntlet might just be running into the trap.
Oh, Classy's ready with his AK here, holding down the line. They're going to start to push out, and he's got a nice contact angle. Hex is actually going to take first contact. 2 kills, 3 kills with the USP. How does he even get that
my
done?
god!
Now it's Slight with the op, last alive, wondering what happened. The USP just topples
Dude!
them all. It's
Again?
$200 to get the job done. Another eco.
You can even see the reaction for some of the players. They don't even know how to react.
Unbelievable.
What just happened? Okay. So another round going back now. Another round. I wish we actually had the angle from the USP play because that was 3-4 straight kills with the USP. I don't know what else to tell you. Infinity Gauntlet still doing fine, it seems.
Yeah, I get another buy-in here. It's not the end of the world. What's Classy lining up? Oh, this is a volley towards the top of boxes. This is nice stuff. You're going to force off some angles, and Wiz is able to capitalize accordingly to find the opening frag. Not up catwalk as Slight. Instead, his op gets dropped to the ground, and a flash push. A little bit ambitious from Walko, but not quite the trade here. We equalize into the 4v4 early on. Not anymore, though. Classy finds him at the edge of the smoke.
Has to walk away, too. Still staying alive. Wiz, not so much. Big shot from Saturn. Has another opportunity right before the smoke ended up blooming in front of him. Player pops out from over in Ticket. He still had to watch out for close, though. Clasia was actually thinking about counter-swinging at that point, but still most of the players from Infinity Gauntlet back in Cat, and that's the end of the interaction. That might just be the end of the round, if anything. 3v2. But look at the HP on some of these players for Infinity Gauntlet. This is possible if RBG commits.
Got to move a little bit quicker here. Fake plant. There's one towards Catwalk. Could catch the bomb planter. Not quite in time, though. Classy misses his opportunity just barely. Unable to hit that connection here. Hex now looking to find the spam. Saturn's actually going to take him down. Classy is far, far removed from the situation. Instead, he's going to be bailing on out with the op here. Another save from Classy. He's only died 1 time this entire game.
He's died 1 time, and the score is currently 4-3. Oh, my word. Well, can't really blame him. Still chilling out with the AWP. He can stay out towards spawn, RBG.
Jame.
Their prospects for the next round should just be fine. Jame time.
Jame time.
Yeah.
That's about right, it seems.
Dang right.
And, I mean, it's a good save. He'll be able to toss over a weapon to Chop as well, who's low on money. So, I mean, honestly, not the end of the world here.
No. No. Still drops it down. We're, I think, still going to see a mid pick out of this. How do they even want to approach?
See here. Getting back into things. Op's been tossed over to Wiz.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. I was thinking about it a bit. They just gave it back to Wiz, who was in the farthest spawn possible, but seems like for good reason. Wiz actually lining up. Molly over towards top mid, and Walko is there for the counter swing, and he goes out with nobody in sight. Everybody hiding away from that pop flash, but still trades galore. Chop and Hex both getting a few, and now RBG. Barely surviving that interaction with a 3v3.
These early games have been super bloody for both teams. Just trades back and forth. They're battling for mid control at the moment. And so far, Infinity Gauntlet do seem to come out the better end in a pretty consistent fashion here as Clasia. He's trying to make a move here. Boosted up around the corner. He's going to hold the angle. Hiding inside of a smoke. This is very sneaky. Will they expect it? That smoke will fade away and not Slight. He won't be able to find it. Instead, it's Classy to walk away with that man advantage. And on a, what is that, 15 HP that he has left to his name? To go for a play like that is so bold.
Very bold, to say the very least. But now, it's plays like those that are going to leave your teammates in a worser spot potentially, and that's exactly what we're seeing from Wilkie. He's down to that 1v3, and he runs into the gap a triple. Down significantly in terms of HP, 28 HP, still playing around the box. Wilkie probably wins these, right? It's just our luck at this point. There you go, 28 HP still. Clasia down to 15. Wiz at full HP, sure, but there's a chance! Wiz all the way from Cat had the angle. Clasia around the corner. There you go. Oh, a little bit cheesy, but they get it done. 4-4, and we're still at the beginning of the best of 3, folks. We're shooting bodies.
Oh, it's early, and it's Clasia. He's going to do that best of 3, no matter if it's round 1 or if we're down to 30, because that's the style he's going for. But obviously, he's for good reason. He finds 2 kills there, low HP, going for pulled plays. I mean, the hyper aggression that we're seeing is kind of what I expected from an RBG that's kind of allowing him the freedom to go for whatever he wants. If he calls something over, you're not going to say no because he doesn't have any ties to the team. He's like a mercenary in this RBG roster at the moment, and he's doing a great job right now. 6-2 or 6-1. He's still only tied one time.
Oh my God, 6-1 still?
That's nuts.
1 death thus far from Clasia. What can you really do about it? The rest of Infinity Gauntlet still sitting just fine on economy, but really both of these 2 teams on the verge of a reset, actually. Not what I expected, at least coming out of the situation from the last round, but RBG still need to keep on their toes. 4 players already back over towards ramp, 1 player over towards Palace, and now in we go. Hex early on with a smoke, and he just has to hold off the corner. I thought he could have potentially had a molly to potentially stop that take, but nothing has been done. So instead, it's just going to be some kills back. Clasia actually with a cheeky little peek, actually taking down Slight all the way back from CT. But the smokes are up, the mollies are up. Where's the bomb plant? There it is.
Well, they expect Ajax in this corner here. He's still in a very sneaky alert, but it seems like they're aware. Elson, in the meantime, has taken down Wiz at the moment, and Ajax turns his back at the exact wrong time, and Clay's just going to catch him off guard. Now CT side aggression coming through. Saturn is going to stop it before it gets started, though. Chop trades things right back and back into the even situation. The only difference being very low HP bars here for Wilkie and Ellison. Bomb's now being stuck here, and it's up to Classy.
Oh my word!
Sticking it. He's able to defuse. He dies to the end. Brings a worthy cause there. RBG will take 5.
That was 1 bullet, Cole. 1 bullet would have done it to take him down in the middle of the smoke, and you got to commend him for it. Still stuck it, still went forward. And now we're still looking at a game where both RBG and Infinity Gauntlet simply cannot separate each other. Bro, RBG won the last round. They won the round before that. And look at how they bought up this round. I don't understand sometimes how this game works.
T-side infinite money glitch right there. It's
yeah.
Just a classic. Bomb plant, and you're just never struggling.
Good trade from Walko. Back over towards ramp, and that's bomb.
Oh, they're going to continue this. Walko left on an island here towards A ramp, but there's 2 players closing in. Going to clothesline 1, taking down Ellison, but he overextends. Wilkie's good for the trade. Not quite the second, though. Wiz nails a scout headshot onto Wilkie, and Slights found himself all alone, trying to make a play with the bomb in his hands at the very least, but not much else to work off of.
Oh, baby, slight 1v3. My bad, yo. Did not mean to jinx him immediately like that. The 1v3 looked possible for a second. But Chop gets the kill. Big round back for RBG, and that is finally cool. The back-breaking round for Infinity Gauntlet. 3 rounds straight later.
Yeah, I mean, it took him a while to get there, but he'll finally be feeling a little bit of pressure release. Now, the issue is Infinity Gauntlet have been able to convert rounds like these without a challenge, so you still have to worry for the chances on this CT side. Look at that nade stack. Wiz is under some high pressure. He's got a USP versus 5 pistols aiming down range here, and only 4 HP to his name. They're jumping around the corner. Slight's flown by. Classy is too late to bail him out, and it's still even. But again, these rounds can get very awkward very quick.
Nice little smoke. They can cross over and most likely get a plant. Where are they actually going to be able to get this plant? Because there's a man in CT down to 18 HP. The pistols are trying to fight it straight up. The bomb goes down. Slight was wrapping in mid. Slight had an opportunity for 2 kills behind, but there you go. The Deagle. 1 shot to both Clasia and Hex. Does it for both, and Chop just walks right on past Ellison, and he does it again. He doesn't care. He do be walking, though. Literally does not give 2 Fs. He just walks by the same guy shooting at him twice in a row and still ends up getting the bomb defused. 7-4.
Oh, man, that is unreal. Chop, he just does not care. That's exactly right there. But
Patience of a monk.
Close the round. That was a really good round from Infinity Gauntlet, all things considered. They were rocking pistols right there, and they dropped 3 guns and quite a bomb plant as well. That's great stuff when you're talking about pistols and armor. And now they're going to be working with full AKs, off in the hands of Slight, every bit of utility they could ask for. They've got everything they want. Now can they just close out on the round?
Slight almost taking on a whole lot of early damage. The interaction is abandoned. Saturn taking on a bit of pressure, though, and this guy is all the way over on the B site. The default has already essentially been broken down, but is that 2 players under? A smoke is forced to go down, but I think that's the thing, Cole. I don't think they know that there are 2 players under. It's totally cheesy.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be hard to clear out both of these players, and especially with that smoke. They don't get forced to fall off the angle. They're still trying to work this A side, but they're waiting for their full 5 to join them with maybe a little mid-split as well. Time will only tell. Hex is trying to peek out. They're going a little more aggressive than expected here. They're just going to have such a lockdown on the A.
Yeah, this crossfire has to go huge, but Hex again. He does have the right options here. There goes the molly. Early into Palace. That is going to waste a bit of util early on, but it does stop the take. 40 seconds left, and now in come the players over and ramp. Hex with a big kill, and we're lagging out for a quick second there. 2v4. I'm freaking out here because I don't know how the round is even going to go down, but it goes down as we may have expected. RBG still taking it away. Infinity Gauntlet. You got to feel bad for them, though.
Yeah, I mean, that double under Balk situation right there. They didn't expect Walco and Firebox after they already cleared out Hex right next to him on site. So, I mean, there's just nothing you could do from then on out. Great Molotov usage as well from Hex to make sure that that A ramp aggression doesn't get met with that Palace aggression. So, super solid stuff in terms of utility usage on top of a great defense. And now we're going to see another A side execute. They're going back to trying this A side here, and it's only going to be Hex for the defense. He's just run away. I'll give this one up. I don't want to mess with 5 pistols. Instead, it's going to be Wiz to find the opener.
Wiz with a big one, and he still has Hex over towards that back line of CT that may have to face on 1, 2, maybe 3 players trying to attack him. There's a molly up front. Wiz getting pressured out. Wilkie actually with 2 kills in that exact same time. So believe it or not, yes, we are actually down to a 3v3. No! The Glock runs out of bullets. Ellison still with 2 kills. 2-1 Deeks. And now Clasia up against the ropes again in a 1v2. Out goes the wide swing from... No way! From default, and he doesn't see the swing at all. The pistols work again. What is that, our 4th, 5th eco?
It's got to be up there, man. That is just unreal.
It's the first half. It's the first half. Let's go, dude. I mean, that just means everything is unpredictable. Now we can have fun watching this game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're not going to know what to expect. And with a team like Infinity Gauntlet, they can just get the job done. It doesn't matter what they have. Ellison with the Deagle right there, 2-1 Deags. Now Slide's kicking things off here, and it doesn't look like RPG are going to have that same pistol round success that we just saw Infinity Gauntlet take.
Yeah, for that to happen, I would have at least expected RBG to try to
Force back.
get 3 or 4 players here in the middle of side, but hello, Wiz. It's a big headshot onto Ellison, but other than that, it should be clear cut. Hello, Clasia with a big shot onto Slight, and he almost got another one there in the middle of sight. Things are actually starting to look a bit dire economically, but I don't think we have to worry about the economy anymore. Last round of the half coming up, 8-6.
Yeah, and RBG are saving for that last round of the half here as well, so won't be the end of the world. They'll get the op in the hands of Wiz. On the other side of things, Slight still rocking his AWP, but right now they're looking for a heavy B-side approach here. You see 4 players stacked up in the apartment side of things. What is RPG going to be using to defend against this? They've already got a molly down to try and force Slight off, but he can still post up for a nice angle. Oh, yes.
Oh, there it is. There you go, Slight. A little slightest angle for him, and he's still able to take down Shop, and now the rest of Infinity Gauntlet still chilling. Was that the obvious one?
That was good. I used Sleight of Hand yesterday.
Oh, that's a really good one. That's a way better one than mine. Oh, but still. Hello, RBG. 2 players and 1 a little bit cheeky. Hello, Walko going into the back of Palace. And is that bomb in front of him?
Oh,
Indeed,
no.
it is. But Walko still walks away, but free kill.
Oh, it scared him off, though, from this A side, and it's an excellent read from Infinity Gauntlet. They're going to walk into an open B bomb site. The only one to topple is Wiz, and he's posted up with the op as well. He can stop this before it gets started at the entrance of apartments. That catwalk combination here with the underpass.
Oh.
He doesn't take the first shot. In fact, it's just a quick switch. He messes up the timing here, going for more, though. He's not committed. Oh, he does it again. He's quick switching too much. And now he's going to fall
No, Wiz!
It's not quite sleight of hand. Instead, it's going to be Ajax fighting that one. And
It's too quick.
oh, man.
Okay, Saturn just walked by Market and Hex can't do anything about it. Walko has to get in the trade and, well, a little bit of Caster's Curse, but this might be possible. Wilkie and Ajax down incredibly low on HP. 1 bullet from that M4 should do it. Of course, the issue is Ellison. So how are they trying to play this? Ellison in the middle of sight, his first contact, and now the low HP players are there for the follow-ups, and that is how our half ends. A half that I didn't think was really salvageable for Infinity Gauntlet. We were looking at an 8-4, I think, scoreline just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, it was off the back of those ecos as well. I mean, we talked about them. There was a lot of them back and forth. I think if RBG got the worst end of the stick there, being on the CT side, though, that was the big issue. The fact that they started on that CT side, once you trade rounds back and forth with the Ts, you're always going to be struggling in that economy, and that's kind of what came back to bite RBG. I mean, this is one of the rounds that came way too close. Here's Chop not caring at all, and it was a good half. RBG were able to win it, but is it enough here? Because heading into your CT side, Infinity Gauntlet are looking really well versed as well.
No way. No way. No way. If you guys wanted to know what I look like when I cast, I look like a very, I look like a disappointed Italian. Mamma mia, what are you doing? Scaramucciazzini, come on! I could say that. I'm telling all right. I get it.
There you go.
Yeah, my family. No, actually, growing up, that was exactly my dad's reactions. If I forgot anything, the full hands are out. We're back, folks. The second half, I don't think I'll have anything to tip hands with.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to make for a good one here. Pistol round, a B-side execute looking likely as well here. Look at all the utility that RBG have in their hands. 2 smokes, 4 flashes ready to rain down the B bomb site. And it's only going to be Ellison met for the defense here. He's going to have a tough task ahead of him, but still no commitment made just yet from RBG.
Yeah, it's interesting, though, because Infinity Gauntlet, they're still very much just maintaining contact. It's going to be a full retake setup back over towards B. So all of this utility, it's essentially going all for naught.
What's the smoke landing towards? Is that
Probably market window, right?
Market windows? Looks like it, but it didn't look like it was the right lineup. I'm a little bit worried there. It does lean in towards market window, so they do nail it.
Okay.
Okay. Either way, we got ourselves a 5v5 retake on the B bomb site. This is going to be a tricky task. They also have a catwalk smoke. That's where maybe it went. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the window smoke definitely worked, but oh, it's a deep cat smoke. Interesting, interesting. Hello, Hex around the corner, swinging around, taking down Slight, but in comes the rest of the retake. Wilkie with a 2K. Wiz still takes him back over towards the middle. Is that another headshot? Oh, I thought it was another headshot from Wiz actually, but no. Hex ends up getting that first one. Walko finishes up the kill. RBG sweating, to say the least, in a 5v5 interaction. And 2 players with no armor, they were still able to survive.
Are you surprised we're seeing a force buy here from Infinity Gauntlets? I certainly I'm not, and I'm a little bit afraid for RBG how these have went historically. I want to see them make sure they're playing some clean Counter-Strike here, because these rounds have bitten them in the back multiple times.
Slight. Not able to get a big one over towards mid. And at this point, we're seeing yet another one of those familiar little rounds. The good old Eco or Deco. Infinity Gauntlet this time. They actually have kind of a decent setup over towards A. Still 3 players remaining around. Smoke up for the mid side, but it's Util out from ramp. Wiz taking out Ajax. Ajax missed out his opportunity for a headshot, but now we still have the scout in the middle of sight, still trying to hold it back. Slight still able to get a kill. Ellison, nice little tap. It's more damage being done. Both Chop and Walko below 30 HP, and it's that 30 HP opponents that Saturn will hope to try to find. Otherwise, it should just be it. It's a 1v4 with a 5-7.
All right, I think at this point you're looking for exit's best case scenario, because yeah, there's not much else you can hope for here. Maybe pick up a rifle would be quite nice, but nice well-versed execute coming through from RBG. I was a little bit worried about the hesitation, but then Walko was finding the frag, so all is well here on this T side. And Saturn is actually saving a decent bit of utility, so he still makes a round of it here. He might get a chance to find one. Now he needs to bail out, needs to run away, get out of there as soon as possible. Not able to save. And instead, it'll be RBG dropping that, and it's going to be probably USPs for the next one.
Yeah, USPs coming up for sure. Yeah, Infinity Gauntlet just not in a great spot, which is actually kind of funny, because we ended up seeing Infinity Gauntlet pretty much in the same spot in terms of momentum, like still losing out 2-3 rounds in a row. But the outcomes were just completely different. Infinity Gauntlet, they were able to trade out at least 3-4 kills in those rounds, actually pitch, kind of just pick away. There you go. At the economy. But this time, though, this is probably RBG's cleanest start, and it's the dream start. They still have the rifles back. Plasia over towards the bottom of mid, the USPs, and the P250. Not making any noise whatsoever. It's Infinity Gauntlet already down to 2 players, and they're both in mid.
Yeah, it looked like RBG was ready for that one as well. Just waiting behind those passive angles. A lot like how Infinity Gauntlet played their CT side, or rather T-side defaults, but now we're going to see some up connector aggression. All 5 players just running together as a pack unit. Perfect play against the 2v5 here, and I don't think Infinity Gauntlet will have too much to do. I mean, Slight does some nice chip damage off to Glazia, but all in all, Wilkie's going to find himself last alive here in the window. Ladder room takes down a weapon there. That's a pretty big victory, but the nade Heat Seeker from Glazia, he doesn't live for long.
Yes, sir. It's just going to have to be it for the round. Next one coming up, a whole lot more important. The rifle round back, 11-7. Yes, a very important scenario for Infinity Gauntlet. Yes, they have the utility back. And how do they actually want to play it? We haven't actually seen a full default from these guys, and most likely for good reason. Holding on to that economy all the way up until the edge. Hello, Slight has the AWP out. He was looking for the cat jump, but ends up missing out on his opportunity. Now, it's Slight that might be burning in hell here, folks. Molly going in. Glasia holding up the cross, trying to find Slight. And indeed, they find him. Op is now down in the bottom of mid.
Oh, man, that was just such a slow
Look at the double back
fadeaway right there. And yeah, they're going to try and execute towards A. It has caused a lot of attention to throw over towards mid. Ellison's going to be on his lonesome here to defend up against this A side execute. They're starting to make their way. Well, he gets cleared. He won't fight with Hex, but there's a quick trade. Chop's close by. And so we do equalize it to a 3v3. And a very good situation for RBG to get some nice post plants in.
Ajax still thinking about the peak. That flash goes over him, and the pre-fire was almost all too good. Wilkie, however, still paying in a couple of bullets. Saturn in a good spot! Chop, the man with 100 HP, does not get headshotted in his position. Now it's Wilkie in a 1v3. Only has a smoke to his name, no kit whatsoever. 2 players once again low on HP. How many times have we seen this from RBG? A clutch attempt from a player from Infinity Gauntlet. But even with the HP disadvantage, RBG, they're going to be winning out this round, this time by formality. The save up for Wilkie, and yes, he's actually able to get that up from the bottom of mid. So not all is lost, except for the money.
Yeah, I mean, good to save the op right now, but they're really quickly losing some momentum that's necessary to try and close this map. And again, it's so important that they do, because we're heading into Vertigo as our map number 2 here, and this is a map that RBG have looked ever so good on. They took Extra Salt to 13 rounds on Vertigo in the recent Premier match versus them, and they just look more and more promising. I believe it was 8DK as well that they played in IM Fall, where they were able to dominate them on that map. So it's only looking up if Mirage goes their way, and that's something to look forward to for RBG. We'll see if they can close it, though.
Yeah, Infinity Gauntlet. I am a little bit concerned on what would happen if we end up going to Vertigo, but we did end up seeing actually Infinity Gauntlet winning earlier on Vertigo, so may not be that big of a worry, but here we go. The pistols are out once again for said Infinity Gauntlet, and Clasia is actually gonna walk on into Slight, I was gonna say. I think there was a player hiding in that left corner, but he just got absolutely domed. Still 2 players remaining. Wilkie and Saturn just trying to hold it down. 5 players from RBG. Their economy not dwindling whatsoever. It is best case scenario. Clean anti-eco.
Yeah, very, very clean. Not even a single frag given over. And you could still worry for rounds like these with Slight on the op. Many times on their T side, Infinity Gauntlet were able to topple RBG in rounds like those, and just not replicating those results in the second half here. I feel like for Pug teams, that CT side as well is so much harder to play. Once you know your team's rotations, you can try and play off of each other. You have protocols set in store, which I imagine Infinity Gauntlet probably have. It gets a lot easier, but right now we're just not seeing too much of that on our CG side. We're not seeing any sort of aggression to keep RBG on their toes, and RBG are just running defaults that are destroying Infinity Gauntlet.
Actually do get that play back, and I was just worrying about the player in ramp. I just think mid play he just absolutely got demolished. Yes, all is good. All is calm, it seems, in the RBG camp. No reaction whatsoever. Oh, good. Dude, look at the reaction now from Infinity Gauntlet, though. And we didn't see this coming into the round. Double up out for Slight and Saturn. RBG started to get a little bit antsy over towards that mid side, but the double up setup, I like the idea.
It's already good for 1 frag there. Slight opens things up, taking down Hex, and it looks like Classy has ate a leg shot as well. So got a couple of things to look forward to here. Now, RBG is going to fall back and towards this A side execute, where they're going to meet 3 defenders. Ellison, Ajax, as well as Slight with the AWP are all ready for this execute. And once RBG start to make noise, it's just going to get even more dire. It's already a 4v5. I don't know how much they can take in terms of trading frags on this A site.
I don't really know at this point. This is probably the most important team take done by RBG at this point. Really one of the only ones that we've seen from them, and it's fully coordinated going right into sight. Look at the spray from Ajax. It was almost amazing getting the player in Tetris, but instead, Wolko, Wiz, Klasia, all 3 players incredibly low on HP, at least below half, 2 of them at 16. Fireworks can be made here by Wilkie and Saturn, and we start off right.
Wilkie now pushing in through CT spot. Right around the corner, will catch Walkover, extending now. It's Wiz last alive in the under balcony position. Not spotted out just yet, playing the off angle. Connected to his first position, given up. He connects on the second. One more back towards triple, and Wilkie catches him off guard. It comes down to the 1v1, but it still goes Infinity Gauntlet's way, and that is ever so critical. And
a 3v2 at that, too. They were able to whittle down that man advantage. 1 individual interaction over towards the mid side, of course, in sights. It's more, I would like to say, a little bit easier to approach in. in a 2v2, all even strength. And these guys definitely taking advantage of that dynamic, but I do want to see, however, a round where Infinity Gauntlet legitimately hold back a sight, because that was yet another take from RBG that, to me, was almost a waltz.
It was, and if you consider the fact that they had 3 defenders on the A bomb set in the 4v5, hold on to that as it's a 1-for-1 trade in the underpass. And it will be Classia equalizing onto Wilkie. I mean, that's a pretty good thing, all things considered. If you talk about early rounds here, you want to get that 4v4 to spread the defense then, but the aggression here in apartments is something to worry about here. We have right around the corner Ajax, or rather Saturn, posted up with the M4.
And Saturn's going to be able to get that first kill. Nobody else there. So the default being played out now by RBG is actually a little bit of a double-edged sword. Goes right up against them, and now Saturn, he can play up on that dynamic potentially once again. That's if, of course, Hex and Shop end up separating off in this little contact. But even then, RBG, they're just running out of space. They have one player over towards mid. Not a lot of utility, but a whole lot of firepower. Wiz trying to go up with an op.
Getting that smoke down as well to push up towards Catwalk. Flashbang as well to follow things up. That's a hard clearly finds Saturn. Now quickly traded by Slight, but it's still going to be that B bomb site fully compromised. Slight doesn't make it in time on the rotation, so Plant will go down. That's a victory for RBG, but they still have to work off this 2v3 as well.
Shot from Slight, not going to hit. Couple spams in. Can't really worry about it. Chop and Hexed. Still maintaining a bit of a crossfire, but yeah, it is a crossfire. It's actually double contact over in Cat. So trying to play around the 2 players and mark it. Big kill from Hex. One more player trying to make his way over. It's Ajax out with the AUG, 28 HP left on Hex. And Ajax, there he is. The one and only with 11 kills thus far. I thought way more, actually. But even then, hard impact going into that last round, and a 9th round back for Infinity Gauntlet, more importantly.
Yeah, again, Ajax is a player that you can certainly look forward to watch on Mirage. He's not quite rocking the AWP, which is one of the easier weapons to use on this map, but as a rifler, he's certainly consistent. We saw a little bit of it in that 1v2 essentially. He didn't have much of a teammate there. He's just sitting towards market waiting for an op shot to rattle off, but that was a great clutch from Ajax to try and keep the momentum in Infinity Gauntlet's favor and avoid economic disaster.
I love this. The cheeky early op peek over in Palace, but he actually peeks out too early. Chop. He was chilling out there. He was looking to peek. Both players not patient enough. 3 players over towards mid now, Cole.
Yeah, they're going to try and work up their connector split here. I mean, you've got a player in Palace, you've got one in connector. Really good positioning right now for RPG to split on towards this A bomb site. You're hopefully going to see a reaction come through from Infinity Gauntlets, and you can kind of see what they're going for with this A ramp aggression, but you still have to be careful. This positioning, this execute could be so lethal from this T side.
Again, RBG. I would like to think that they have the right setup here, but look at the counter here for Infinity Gauntlet. 2 players over towards ramp. I was going to say make that 1, but Ellison is going to stay alive here. Wiz wasn't able to pick away at his pinky toes, and Slight, hello, still able to take down Walco. This T-side take not working out too great thus far. Equalized back to a 3v3 though, right as I say that. 1 player in the middle of sight. Ajax looking in for the drop. 2 players have already walked on by, but the person in Palace isn't peeking. What? 2 players out from Connector, and RBG taking back a 2-man disadvantage, a 5v3 into a round win within 10 to 15 seconds.
Oh my god, he hard clears Ajax as well. I thought he had the spot. I thought he was in a perfect position to be on the flank right there, but so many of these close rounds. Now finally one goes RBG's way. Look at the economy of Infinity Gauntlet. They're onto a save.
My.
They might be conceding map point here. We talked about how necessary Mirage was for this roster.
Oh man, Infinity Gauntlet. I mean, again, still have a chance in that next map, and I'm not going to say it's the best. Might as well fight here on Mirage instead. Ajax on the front line. He ends up going down. Hex with 2 easy ones. Again, this round is just formality. I don't even think we need to worry about economic damage or anything of the sort. It is really just RBG making their way through, stat padding a bit on the round. And that's finally it. Let's talk about it, Cole. 15-9, 6 rounds separating the two, and Vertigo seems to be up next for RBG.
Yeah, it's on the horizons here, it seems, and we still have another buy-in here for Infinity Gauntlet. Take a look. It's Slight. He's got an op. We got not much utility to work off of as well. Saturn is finally going to invest into it, but it's certainly lacking. Not many flashbangs to try and take early map control, and that's been one of the key issues here as well for Infinity Gauntlet, just conceding map control and allowing RBG to get these splits that they want here. Slight's trying to make an opener happen, but he gets taken down to half HP and forced off the line. And on top of that, look at the positioning. They're ready for a B-side execute that could topple Infinity Gauntlet and take things into Vertigo early on.
It's just contact at this point for RBG, but they're still thinking about the B side, and as they think about it, they execute on it. Glacia going in, that Van volley actually closing out Glacia, if anything. And actually, we lagged out a bit. Glacia jumped on top of the Van and still got the kill. Now we're in a 3v3 after some chaos. 105 left in the round. One player trying to make their way up mid, but actually Walco has the angle. Walco waiting for it. The battle in mid is actually abandoned. I think Slight ran into the player and can no longer fight, and it's Ellison actually that fights. And Walco still ends up winning. Slight now in a 1v3 to try to keep his team alive here on Mirage. And clearly he doesn't have many angles.
Yeah, he's struggling to get anything done here. I mean, he's running out of time as well. He peeks into the op of way, spots that one out, but it's not much to work off of. It's a blocking Walco to close things out and take us into Vertigo in some strong fashion. That second half, it looked almost too easy for them.
Yeah, it did. Unfortunately, that is, because we already had so many close rounds between the two teams, and also the amount of ecos. We had like 5 ecos go down just in the first. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you. Like, 1 eco is already enough in a game. Like, how do we get 4 here? So that ends up happening in the game. But yeah, still, RBG, I just think they got into their own flow. If anything, coming down to that whole CT side, they already had the right idea. They had the right counterplay. The retakes were looking good. And to that extent, it is kind of tough for me to kind of dictate that some of the angles weren't exactly the best for Infinity Gauntlet, and also some of the approaches on the T side. But I can at least say some of their players ready, fragging. But map number 2, Vertigo, isn't exactly going to be an easier task.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. We saw a lot of promise. I think those ecos were a sign of what could be, but we just didn't get that converted into that second half. That CT side, it was lacking. The rotations and protocols weren't there. The aggression was almost never there. And when it was, I mean, we saw Slight jumping towards that catwalk. He got smoked out, mollied out, naded out. I mean, everything wasn't going his way. So I think that kind of scared him off as well. But it was super surprising to see RBG clean up that second half really well after like losing all those ecos. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So still, RBG looking fine, cleaning things up over towards that second half. Folks, the second map of Vertigo between these two teams kicking off right after the break. We'll see you guys in a little.
Yes, nice shot, my friend.
Cheaters ruining your plays?
I have eyes on the enemy.
Bad servers stopping your shots? What you need is ESEA. Advanced anti-cheat to stop cheaters. And the best servers around, all with 128 tick rate. ESEA, the best way to play CSGO.
Welcome back to Frag. It is, of course, our third best of 3 of the day. My name is Upmind, joined here by Exner, and the team known as Infinity Gauntlet had a couple of surprises for us in the first half, but it looks like that pocket full of surprises ran out.
Yeah, we're ran dry very quickly in that second half. That CT side from them wasn't very clean. We didn't have the best of luck for them. Now we're heading into Vertigo, and I don't expect for it to get much better. Now, we could be proven wrong, obviously. You know, you never know what can happen here in North American Counter-Strike, but judging by the history of RBG and just the dominance that they can assert, it's really worrisome here. But we do take a look here at the replays from last match.
Yeah, we can at least take a look at Mirage, bro. I mean, I like how we pointed out, first of all, that we're going into replays, but for good reason. There you go. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. You get an ace, you get a pog.
Oh, man.
And, of course, that is the lightest pop-up I've ever seen for an ace.